Hello everyone, this is Hannah of Page of H. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for clicking on this video and just hanging out with me tonight as I kind of show my end of April flip through. If you are actually returning from my very first video, thank you so much for sticking around and coming back and being willing to sit through all the awkwardness all over again. I really appreciate you being here. So today we are going to be looking at my Filofax Malden in the personal size. This is my essential planner. I do all my heavy planning in here, all my creative planning in here, and it's where I journal. And so I want to say that this is kind of like the planner size for me. I don't think I can actually consistently plan in a different size planner, at least for the time being. But let's go ahead and get started. This is the Filofax Malden personal rings in the color black. I'm going to preface this flip through by saying that I'm going to do my best to be better about giving more information and more details about what I'm showing you through this flip through. I think one of the biggest problems I had in my last video was I was rushing through the flip through and the setup, and that was because of two reasons. I'm still new to the whole filming and editing process, and I'm just a nervous, anxious wreck in general. So I know that I sounded really nervous and was using a lot of filler words and so, and I'm still doing that now. But secondly, I am a brand new YouTube channel, so I'm only allotted 15 minutes per upload at the moment. And so I will be doing my best to, again, give as much information as I can without spending too much time on one thing. Okay, so when I open this up, nothing really has changed since my last April setup video. I have everything in the same place, except that I have finally filled out this planner, I don't know what to call this. This is just a personal quote insert that I created. It has a quote by Sylvia Plath that I really identify with, relate on a very deep, profound level. And so it's something that I like to see when I open up this planner. And then, and yes, I ended up never doing anything on this side, but that is okay. And then I do have this transparent Filofax insert pocket that came with the planner. Originally in my April setup, I had placed this really bright turquoise. It was a print of the Pacific Currents. And while I did love that, it was kind of too much to look at every time I opened up this planner. And so I did change it out for something a little bit more muted. And there's also a picture of me and my husband from almost 10 years ago now, which is crazy. Okay. And then on this side, I do have a couple of paint swatches because we are currently in the middle of house renovations. We are completely redoing our house, and if you've ever done a renovation before, I'm sure you can relate on some level how all-consuming it can be. And so I just like to keep little things in here so that I can quickly reference things. And on this side, I do have a clear, I think these are meant for planner cards and calendar cards. Little pockets. I don't know what to call this. I'm sure there's a word for it, but this is by an Etsy shop called Plan and Stow, I believe. And if that's wrong, I'll go ahead and correct it and put the correct link down below. I do apologize about my scratchy voice. I'm still recovering from my cold, and it's I've been sick all April. And I think it's just because I've been overly stressed at work, and then I have a house project going on. So in this pocket, I do have an April calendar card. It is one that I created myself, and it is currently offered as a freebie through my Pip and Pulp Etsy shop. You can find the link listed below, but I do love how this turned out. So if you're interested, go grab it. I'm planning on bringing the rest of Q2, so May and June calendar cards out soon. On the other side of this guy, I do have sticky notes, Post-its. I had another one up here, but I ran out. Then before my actual planner sections begin, I do have this monthly vellum dashboard for the month of April. I did get a question about this on my last video, and just to clarify, this is a vellum dashboard that I created on Photoshop using images that I compiled on Pinterest. So it's not something that I'm going to ever like put up for downloading. In any case, that brings me to my first section in my planner, which consists of my monthly pages. And so I'm gonna flip over, and on the other side of this divider, before I get into my monthly inserts, I do have my inbox for the current month. And this, I've been using the sticky by Tiny Birch Studio as my inbox. And I do love the look of this. I absolutely love these stickies, and I'm planning on getting more when I run out. However, I realize that this is just not ideal as an inbox sticky just because of the limited space. And so I actually found this on Etsy, these vintage inserts by Filofax from 1984. And I was so ecstatic when I came across these. It's the same color palette as the sticky note by Tiny Birch Studio, and I love the combination of like the brick red against the cream. So I'm really excited to use these inserts as my inbox pages. So love that. I just have a couple more notes regarding my house project down here. I'm sorry if you hear coughing in the back. My husband's also sick, and so it's just like we're all sick at the same time. It's great. I plan on using this yearly vertical insert as a future log, and I've already started putting in some events and appointments that are coming up towards the end of the year. But I'm really excited to be using this because that way I can quickly reference things that are coming up without having to create like a whole month in advance in my monthly inserts. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. So this is my year at a glance or yearly overview, and this is available as a freebie as well. I've just been using these Starburst stickers to mark off the months that have already passed, and I did mention these in my last video, but I will go ahead and link them down below as well. At the bottom here, I've just started tracking some of the year's highlights, so there's space for that. That brings me to the month of April. I did create this monthly insert, and it is available with either a Sunday or Monday start. It's meant to be a very functional kind of monthly insert. So the way I've been using it is I do have a key. It's a color-coded key system that I wrote in the month of January. You can kind of see up here. What I do is I just place the little washi dot on the dates that I know something is coming up, and then on the respective dates here, I'll go ahead and fill out whatever the event or appointment is. As you can see, I like to be very functional in my planning, but also have like decorative ephemera and little pieces that just make it visually pleasing and just overall joyful. I've not yet set up May. I plan on doing kind of like a May setup video if time will allow at the end of this week. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so that brings me to my weekly section. And I'm not gonna go over these because I did show them off in my last video. I did take out my Q1 weekly inserts. So here's the first week of April. As you can see, I've been really enjoying using these weekly inserts that I created. It is undated, so I do write up the dates, and then I kind of write down my to-dos and tasks for those days. There is a habit tracker down here, which I do love the look of, but it has not been very functional for me, so I do plan on changing this guy up. Then on this side of the week on 2 pages, I have a to-do list and a procure list. Here's my like to order or to get or to acquire list, whether that be groceries or things that I need for school. So these weekly inserts have been really good to me. Again, I apologize about my voice. Okay, so this is the second week of April, and here is the third week of April. As you can see, very bare compared to the first 2 weeks, and it is because this is my production week at school, and I was incredibly busy. I don't think I mentioned this in my last video, but I am a middle school English teacher and teach 3 sections of English, 2 sections of ELD, and 1 section of exploratory theater. And so we just wrapped up our spring production, and so I'm very grateful that it is done and that we finished well. And that brings me to my current week. So I recently came across these inserts on Amazon, and if you follow me on Instagram, I did mention that I'm trying these new inserts out. When I saw this on Amazon, I was immediately drawn to it just because of the overall aesthetic, the look of it. I know that this may not make sense. I don't know why I thought of this when I saw these inserts, but just the overall look reminded me of those vintage sewing patterns by McCall's and Butterick. And I know it's not even the same font that's used or anything like that, but something about the color palette and the fact that these timed dailies look kind of like a measuring tape and ruler just like gave me that, I don't know, but I love it. I love the look of it. And I will say that it is very functional, and there's a lot of space to write in. Having said that, already kind of foresee like me not using this for longer than maybe this month, the coming month. I know that I've only been in this weekly for 1 week, but the paper quality itself is not great. But other than the fact that the paper is not great and that you definitely cannot use pencil and eraser on this, it is a beautiful insert. I do love the way that it looks. I love the space that you're given. And I actually do want to go forward in my weeklies without a task list and a to-do box on the side, like the ones that I created here. And so I'm planning on creating a separate to-do and acquire list. All right, so I think I'm going to give this a go for the rest of May and see how I end up liking it. And I may just end up changing back to my own inserts, and that's fine. I do keep a stack of them back here so I can just quickly pull them in if I end up hating this weekly. Okay, so here are my April dailies. I know that this one says March 28th, but it's because April 1st starts on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and say that I have not journaled / logged every single day in April, but I've been very consistent in coming back and really utilizing this section when I felt the need to brain dump or log something down that was important, or just word vomit, you know, and journal. So a lot of people have been asking me about this daily log insert. I did create these daily logs, and they're available in my Etsy shop, Pip and Pull. And I do have 2 variations of it up listed on Etsy at the moment. But yeah, I love how it has just enough structure, but also gives you the freedom to do what you want with the space. My video keeps cutting off because I'm like out of memory on my phone. So I'm just going to make this a quick flip through where you can look at my daily logs, but I'm not going to be like going over them too in depth. If you do have any questions about anything that you see in these dailies, please let me know and I'll list them below. That brings me to our current date, April 28th, Sunday, and that is my daily log section. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. But again, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions about anything that you saw today, please leave me a comment or question below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.